right, and you'll probably also notice that we have our live transcription service available today. So for anyone who needs that, that's there. And I do want to give just a quick disclaimer that I think it's pretty good, but sometimes it may be a little inaccurate as to what words are actually being said. So if apologies if there's anything weird that comes through on the transcription. But I'm Hannah Curtis. I'm with the North Metro Small Business Development Center, and we're so glad to have you all with us here today. We're going to learn about digital marketing plans from Peter, who is one of our marketing consultants. He's been with the SBDC for years and has some great content for us. So we'll get into that here in just a minute. But I do want to let everyone know to please make use of the chat. If you have questions, we want this to be interactive. So feel free to put those in there, and we'll also have some natural breaks where you can ask questions as well. And then, like I said, this is being recorded, and so you'll get the recording later this afternoon. And it's also, just so everyone knows, all of our webinars are put into the video library on our website. So if you've ever missed a webinar or you want to revisit anything, you can always check that out on our website in the video library. You'll also get the slides and resources that Peter mentions during the session today. And I also want to give a big thank you to the North Glen Economic Development Department for co-sponsoring today's session. They have some fantastic resources for businesses, specifically in North Glen. And so I'll put their website into the chat there for you, and would definitely encourage you to connect with them. They're wonderful partners of the SBDC. So big thank you to them. And for those of you who aren't in the North Glen area, we do encourage you to connect with your local economic development department as well. So with that, I think that's all the housekeeping. Like I said, Peter is our presenter today, Peter Brissett. He is a small business owner himself and wonderful trainer and consultant with the SBDC. So after today, if you want to do follow-up sessions for a one-on-one meeting with Peter to really dive into your specific situation, we can definitely set that up, and I'll put the link in the chat there for that. So Peter, I will turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. Yeah, thank you, North Glen Economic Development. Good to see you guys. And great to be with you here, live and online. All right. Yeah, thanks everybody for putting in the different types of businesses. So, I mean, we got the city of North Glen, we've got Adams County, we've got massage therapist. Dr. Joe was on here for a minute. I don't know where he went. Oh, he's calling me on the phone. Kidding, he's not calling me. He was texting me earlier. Anyway, it's good to see you all, and we're going to get into this. So what I'm going to do over the next hour is give you 6 weeks of our digital marketing bootcamp. How about that? We're just going to condense it right down for you and fill your brains. So this is a quick highlight. If you haven't seen some of our training, I over the years, in particular working with the SBDC, have kind of put together what are really answers to the most common questions and just getting started with your marketing. And so these are the main categories that we've come up with. You're going to get this entire presentation. We're not going to go through all this today. There's not enough time to do that. We don't even go through all this in our 6-week digital marketing bootcamp, because even with that, it's a lot to get to. But just so that you can kind of see the high level overview. So the piece that we always start with, and I'm going to go through this part in particular quickly, because I want to get you some tools that you can use in helping you actually put a plan together and map things out on what you want to do. But we always have to start with a little bit of basics in terms of strategy. So strategy is the why behind what you're going to do. It determines the tactics, it determines the platforms, it determines everything else. But you got to start with the strategy side first. So really focus on a 4P with this, really 3 Ps. 3 Ps are the most important of this: people, problem, and process. This is really what's going to drive everything that you do. People first, right? What's your target market? Who is your ideal customer? There could be lots of options of people that could be your customer, but who's that ideal customer? What do they look like? And being able to understand the biographical data, their age, where do they live, what are their incomes, the psychographic kind of profile of them, what are the things they worry about, what are the things they're interested in, what are the things they care about, and having that kind of, we call them personas as well, of who this ideal customer is. So we have to try to narrow that down so we can narrow down all our messaging to that person. We're small businesses, all right? We don't have gazillion-dollar budgets to just throw all kinds of marketing and advertising out there and hope that something works. Like whatever we're going to do, whatever we spend time on, whatever we spend money on, if we're spending money on ads, we need to get back results. And so dialing in who that target market is super important. And this goes to how we're going to create our content, right? So, that's ultimately what we're talking about. Our marketing plan is, what's our messaging and our content going to be, and how are we going to decide the different channels that we're going to share that with in order to get attention and drive people back to our business. And so understanding who that is so that we're creating content that's talking to them. We have to speak to that audience. We have to talk about what's going on with them so that they can go, oh, these people understand me. They know what's going on with me. And that leads you to the problem. So what is the problem you solve for them? What is the actual thing that you do that that is going to help them? We have to speak to the problem. Often what we start with is just talking about ourselves. So we go right to the solution without making sure that they understand what the problem is. So talk to your market, talk to the problem first, focus on that for all of your content, and then make sure that you can add, by the way, here's the 3 easy steps to solve this problem. And we can help you with that. So when you talk about the problem, what is the problem that they have? Can we share some empathy with what they're struggling with there? And what are the benefits of solving that problem? And also have in there a little bit of what is the risk of not solving that problem. If I don't solve this problem today, what could be some of the risks? What could be the failure that might happen if you don't address it? Now, there's scales of this. If you're a bakery selling baked goods, it's a lot simpler, right? We got hot, fresh baked goods. Get them today. We can solve that sweet tooth problem for you instantly. Just stop by and that problem solved. Where if it's a more complex issue, a bigger health issue, whatever it might be, we might have to dig in a little bit deeper and do that. And then kind of the 4th P is all the optional stuff that you can do. If you're going to build around your values or why you do what you do, it's more driven that way. You can, share stories, of course, and you can always potentially be the celebrity, right? Can you be the Jake Jabs of your business or the Dylan Doug, if that's what you want? You don't have to. It's not a requirement, but these are just some different things to think about in terms of how you bring in either your personal passion, your story of why you do what you do. The common example I give, there's a place called Bentley Baths. Mr. Bentley, George Bentley, his mother slipped and fell in her bathtub, broke her hip. She was elderly and within a matter of weeks had passed away. And so his dad was still living in the house, and he's like, well, I don't want that to happen to my dad, so let me solve this problem. And he went out and was like, okay, I want to replace this bathtub with something different. What are my options? And he started shopping and got the runaround, and it was hard to figure out what was the best choice. So he wound up starting Bentley Baths, where he's like, this should be easier to do. This shouldn't be a hard thing to figure out. And let's give people really good options that are affordable and that can get done quickly, because this is a big deal. It's a big problem that needs to be solved. So right on his homepage of his website, he shares that story. Like, it's a very personal story to him of why he does what he does. So different ways that you can do that from that perspective. So that's the quick high level strategy piece. We have a lot of questions for you around that, and I'm going to provide you some other things to as well to dig into some questions. Quickly on the website, we won't go into all of this. If you have questions about website and that kind of thing, we'll happy to address those. But this is going to be the place where you're going to be communicating. So that messaging around your audience and the problem that you solve, and focusing on that first on the website is really critically important. And then offering them then the solution. So, you know, the images on your homepage and that, especially that initial top section of your website, should be very brief, should have an image that speaks to who your audience is and gives them, you know, some indication of that you're talking to them and you understand what the problem is. And then allow them, you know, to be able to take the next step with you and have a clear call to action there that says, okay, schedule a call or fill out this form, or, you know, clear call to action on what they're going to do on that homepage. So again, that gets into a little bit of the content. So let's talk about some content. All right. There's all kinds of different content. Video's my favorite, but content is text, it's images, it's video. There's a lot of different platforms that we can do this on. And there's some tools that we can use to do this. So my favorite type of content to start with is video, and creating some type of video. There's lots of different types of video, right? There's a video right now that we're doing. I'm sharing my screen showing slides. I could turn off my video of my face and just be talking and sharing my screen, and that can be a video. So if you don't want to be on screen, then create something that you can share and record, and you don't even have to have your face on the video. So that's one type of video. There's other video that you can create that is just images, and maybe it's just images, pictures, and words that you can use. And we'll talk about some tools. And that you could do a Zoom interview. So get on Zoom with someone else and do an interview with them, ask them questions, get your best clients on Zoom with you, ask them why they do business with you, and transcribe that. And now you've got video and words, a transcription that you can then use to share with folks. So all different ways that you can create video and get text, and now you have multiple things that you can do with it. You can add that video to your website. You can create blog posts with that. And you can put together all of the different things that you want to do. Oh, and I just thought of something else I need to share with you guys. Okay. Ways that you can create this video. You can make this video. You could go to a website like Fiverr.com or Upwork.com, and you can find a freelancer that'll create all kinds of video for you for very inexpensive. You know, you need 1 minute, 2 minute kind of highlight reels or something like that. You know, you could go to Fiverr.com and probably hire someone to make a whole bunch of videos for you for well under $100 for creating video content for you. So you don't have to create all this even yourself. And those are good options for it. So other types of content could be ebooks, checklists, different things that are valuable to your ideal prospect that give you, we kind of call them secondary calls to action. So if you're on your website and you know, your first option is buy now or schedule a meeting now, but maybe the secondary option is, hey, you're not ready to buy today, great, you know, get our checklist that, you know, helps you accomplish this on your own. I love checklists, by the way. Live by checklists. You know, so come up with some other piece of content that will allow you even to provide enough value where people are going to go and actually give you an email address or a cell phone number so that you can communicate with them. Widgets. So I have a thing called marketing widgets. And these are different kinds of tools that allow a customer to interact and potentially give you some additional information. So some examples of that. One that we've done is in senior care. So how do I know that my mom might need assisted living? And we can have a survey that has maybe 5 or 10 questions. And in that survey, they answer on a scale from 1 to 10 on each of those items. When they're done with that survey, at the end, it says, put in your email address, we'll send you the results. And if it's over a certain number, it's like, yeah, you probably should talk to us and schedule a meeting. You know, you scored 75 out of 100. There's a good chance that mom might need assisted living. But if it's 40 out of 100, it's like, well, she's probably not there yet, but let us give you some additional information on things you should be aware of and things you should look out for. And now we've got them in our database. So kind of a widget. Different types of calculators. There's lots of different ways that you can create calculators. There's some free tools out there. Again, use Upwork.com or something like that to create something custom that allows my customer to go put in some data and get a result. And ideally, we're able to capture their information as a result of that. So it's really easy to market a free widget. It's easy to market free stuff versus buy my stuff all the time, right? So what is a widget you could potentially come up with that allows you to have something free that you can really focus on marketing that free thing to then get people on your list? You can curate content. So look at other industry leaders and experts. Who else out there in your space is a leader in your space that people know of, and you can share their content and comment on their content, and maybe even take an opposing view to their content, and and create content like that. So lots of curated content that you do, inspirational or motivational. What's inspirational quotes out there? And we'll talk a little bit about that more in the content calendar plan. And then your calendar. So how are you actually going to schedule all this, plan all this out? What's my frequency that I'm going to do this with? So I have a formula I call RFP, recency, frequency, and proximity. So if I'm out on a first date and we go out on this date and we're having a great time, and I get to the end of the date, it's a first date, right? Very first date. At the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I love you. Let's get married. We should get married. What do you think the response is going to be? You can answer this however you want in the chat, on the screen. You can come off mute. What's the answer going to be? Go ahead, tell me. Don't be shy. There will be no second date. Thank you, Kelly. No way. I love you too. Let's do it. Okay, Christopher, you're all right. Run. Yeah, Beth's like, run. Yeah, if they love me at the end of the day, want to get married, we're both crazy. We probably deserve that. So why is that? Why is the answer no? Why is that going to happen? Well, while it has been very recent that I said I love you, there's been no frequency. Like there's been no time for that love to grow, no time for that love to build. Like it takes a certain amount of frequency for that to happen. So maybe 6 months or 12 months or something like that. I might be able to go on our 40th date and say, I love you, let's get married. It'd be a very different answer. So the same thing with how we talk about content and, how frequently should we send an email? How frequently should we post our content? So let's think about this from recency. How recent do I need to be? And then how frequent do I need to be to create proximity? So proximity is just how close am I getting? Am I getting closer to a handshake? And I like to say, can I get close enough for a hug? That may not be appropriate anymore, but this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a relationship with my prospect that is a virtual hug, if you will, of how recent and frequent do I need to be that they're willing to at least shake my hand and take the next step in the process. So that really is that formula RFP, just to help you think about, okay, what is something good that's going to help my ideal prospect move along this process of getting to know me so that they're willing to trust me to take that next step, right? We're building trust with them with that. And with this calendar, you can plan out, all of next year, or at least the next 6 months or the next 90 days, at least. And I'll give you some tools here to help you do that in terms of some calendar spreadsheets and things like that. Some of the tools that you can use Zoom for recording video. Excuse me. Use your phone. I mean, your phone's one of the best tools that you have for creating content. Rev.com is a great tool for transcribing any kind of video for you. I think having that transcription is a real important piece of that. My favorite tool out there for, Hannah's laughing already. She's like, geez, Peter, like I should work for this company. I should be their best spokesman is Canva.com. Right. I absolutely love this application. And the gal that created this is like a bazillionaire now from creating this here a number of years ago. And it is phenomenal. Right. I'm not a graphics designer, me personally. I don't do graphics design. A lot of people, use Adobe, Illustrator, and all those things. I have no clue how to use any of those tools, but I can use Canva. And I can create very basic graphics. Actually, for a client conference I put together, I did this brochure, our conference program. I know it probably doesn't look great on the video. I did this in Canva. And I actually got compliments on it, which was surprising. There weren't too many typos, but you can do so much in Canva. So one thing I was just checking on, so part of the challenge we have with video right now is that we have different video sizes for different platforms. And how do I get my video sized correctly to fit on those different platforms? Canva.com. Take whatever video format you have, upload it to Canva, you hit a button, resize, and it'll resize it to every video format that you want. So it'll work on, the Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, or you need square for Instagram, you need, wide for Facebook, whatever, or your website. Canva will give you all those different versions and allow you to edit that video right on Canva. You can create videos right on Canva, let alone all the different kind of graphics that you might need. And again, create one graphic, resize it for different sizes for different platforms. And it's a great tool. So absolutely love Canva as a tool for helping you create the graphic side of this. I used to say PowerPoint before Canva really became a thing. We would create a lot of these graphics using PowerPoint. Not needed anymore. Don't have to do that. Yeah, all the templates, like there's tons of templates inside of there. And again, Fiverr.com is a great resource if you want a little extra help and very inexpensive way to generate and create some other types of content for you. All right, so that's my content conversation there. All right, we're about 30 minutes in. So let's give you a couple other resources that you can use for where's the first one? So Hannah will send you links to these documents. So these are all on Google Drive documents. They're read only. So the way you make this your own is you just hit File and make a copy. And then you can bring that into your own system, and then you can add it and change and do whatever you want to with this. We call this a marketing action plan or your map. How are you going to create your map for this? This document here is meant to kind of be used to just let you highlight from a high level what these different things are, right? So who's my target audience? And here you got a place to put that in. Is there particular industries? Depends on your business that I want to focus on. What is it about my business? What is it I'm really providing? What's the solution to the problem that I have? Why should someone choose us? What are the frequently asked questions that people have? So this is really key in your content, is answering the frequently asked questions. So much of search right now is happening because people are asking full questions, right? I don't know if you do this. You pick up your phone and you say, hey Google, or hey Siri, or hey Alexa. And then we ask a full question about something. And so what are those questions? Oh, Alexa's answering me back there. I'm busy. She's always bugging me. So what are the frequently asked questions that we have? The other category is SAQs, should ask questions. What are the questions that someone should ask us? That they should be asking me as a professional in my field that they're not asking me. They don't know enough of what they should ask. So what are those should ask questions? And doing that, what are our testimonials? These are really powerful things we can use as a piece of our marketing content. And what is my unique selling proposition or unique value proposition? What might that be? Again, this is just a place to kind of record that so you have easy access to remind yourself what that is. And then we have some questions here about your website in particular. What action do we want people to take? What information do you want to provide? And so on and so forth. So this is a template. Use it as you want. Don't use it. You don't have to. It's not necessarily critical, but this gives you a place where you kind of gathered all that information. And this is now a document that you could share with someone else. If someone's helping you with some part of your marketing, now you've got a document that has all that put in one place where you can say, yeah, here, I have all this. I have my target market. I know the problem we solve. Here's what people say about us. Boom, you got it all. And that's all in one place and one document for you to use. The other document to really help you be able to create that is our discovery process. This is really just a ton of questions for you to answer. So if you kind of are like trying to figure this out, I don't necessarily know my target market. There's a lot of questions here that will help you define that and clarify that. Help you, what are the benefits of solving the problems? What are common objections people have? Who are my competitors? What are the FAQs and SAQs? And then getting more testimonials. So testimonials is super important. And we've got here, this is kind of a great way to get really powerful testimonials. That I copied from this guy, Sean DeSouza. 6 questions you can ask to get powerful testimonials. And you might have to edit these a little bit to make it fit either your product or your service. And that will help you collect much more powerful testimonials, again, to use across your marketing and just to understand better the problems that you actually solve for your clients. So that's that additional document. I'm giving you lots of homework is basically what I'm doing. Okay, guys. You thought you would have all the answers when you left here. Sorry to disappoint. All right, and then here's probably the one, and you could probably even just start with this if you wanted to, and do this. So this is your content calendar template to really map out what it is you're going to do and when you're going to do it. So the second tab here talks about content themes. So I'm a big fan of this to kind of help you direct your content. Is coming up with themes. If you're going to post, let's say you're posting some type of content daily, and come up with some theme. Is it Monday motivations, Tuesday tips, Whiteboard Wednesdays, Throwback Thursdays, Fact Fridays, or makeup, whatever. What works for you and your clients and your business. Those are just some ideas that you could take from. And again, once you get the link to this, just file, make a copy, and then take and use this, however you want to do. But this allows you to go, okay, when am I posting content? What days of the week? What are the dates that I need to have this done? what's the date I need to publish it? And then what is the topic, or what's the title of this particular piece of content? So is this a blog post? So what's the title of that blog post going to be? Is it, so here it is, a Tuesday tip. What's my Tuesday tip? Maybe I'm sharing a testimonial. I'm doing Friday facts, FAQs, and maybe you do those every Friday. And so you at least have the basics of what that looks like. So you're able to go through here and just edit this. Again, if you're doing it twice a week or 3 times a week or however frequently you're doing it, do that. So Kelly asks, where do you make those posts? Excellent question. So where's it going to go, right? So is this going to Facebook? Again, we got to go back to strategy. Who's your target market? And where are they? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? What type of content is this? Is this a video, piece of video that we're doing? Do we need to have the video, created a certain way? Because it's going to go on Instagram, or maybe it needs to be a TikTok video. So then we know what size and type that needs to be. Is it a blog post? That's going to go on your website. So here's a link to the blog post on the website. Is it an email? Is this one email? Is it a series of emails? Like, what are we doing? So is there a call to action? Visit website. All right, it's a blog post. So we want them to visit the website to drive them back over to our website. Are there particular keywords that we're focused on, in particular if it's content going to the website? And so we will make sure we get those right keywords into that blog post that we're doing. So whatever, RFP, right? Recency, frequency, proximity that you feel is going to be best for your target market, then use this to start to plan that out. And you can go through here and, start coming up with titles and topics and different ideas that you can do. So I'm going to give you a thing that I just thought of, I forgot about. So I'll send this to you, Hannah. Let me do this so I can give you this link. This is the coolest thing that I've found recently. If you're like, I don't know what content to create, I have no idea where to start, and what I should do. And I found this, that I'll share this with Hannah to send to you guys. This is the 999 plus idea bank. So let's say I want to create curiosity. When I click on curiosity, I go, all right, what does this have to do with? Well, let's say it's health and wellness. And under health and wellness, we've got 80 questions that I could ask. So a great piece of content for your socials is to ask questions of whoever's following you on your socials. So ask some advice on how one can have a healthy and long life. Ask some advice on how to be disease-free. On and on and on. So here's, just in this one category, 80 different things that you could ask as it relates to health and wellness that will create curiosity. Some general stuff, again, asking questions. Let's say general business. Again, asking questions. So I'll send this link for you guys as well. So if you're like, I don't have any ideas, this will help give you some different ideas on directions that you can go for creating content. So go through, create your content ideas first. Here's the topics and the things that I want to make sure that I cover over the next 90 days or next 6 months. And then what type of content does it need to be? Is it a video? Is it a graphic? And then just use this as, a little project management tool of making sure it's getting done and tracking it and do that. And then, the other piece then is, how do I post the content? You can use, there's a training I did a few weeks ago on the Meta Business Suite that shows you how to use that for scheduling Facebook and Instagram content. So you can look there. The tool I like to use, it's not free. Well, their basic version is free, but I use Hootsuite. Hootsuite.com is a great tool to use for scheduling on other platforms besides Facebook and Instagram. If you happen to be doing Twitter, or if you're doing even TikTok or LinkedIn, for example, it's a good tool to use for scheduling that content out ahead of time. Yep, Hootsuite. Hootsuite.com, spelled just like that, Hootsuite. For that. So that's the main stuff I wanted to show and share with you guys. So let's answer some questions. That was a lot. Questions you have?
I'll kick it off, Peter, and everyone else feel free to come off mute or put questions in the chat.
Yep.
But one question we get a lot is, how do I make time for this? What's your recommendation for dedicating time to focus on this?
Yeah, it's like anything is, you have to make that decision of how much time do I have and scheduling it out. So, put it on your calendar and let's schedule an hour or two a week. If you do it well, maybe you schedule 3 or 4 hours one day and you schedule a month or two of your content and have that content ready to go. So planning ahead, planning out the content and content topics is a big piece, because then you can, if you're hiring someone to help you write blog posts, or you're hiring someone to do some of the work, then you can, get that stuff done ahead of time. So now all you got to do is pull it all together, take a little bit of time, schedule it, and you've got, a month's worth of things scheduled and out there. So once a month for a few hours, if you can do that, you can get a lot of stuff done and get things scheduled out if you're having to do it yourself. So
great, thank you. There's also some questions in the chat, so thank you everyone for these that are coming in. Looks like Melody asked, she's an artist and wondering what problem she would be solving. Like, how would you frame that?
Yeah, that's a little bit different, as an artist. It's you're appealing to something different, depending on what your artwork is, and so as you look at your audience and your people, and really start to figure out who are the people that really like my artwork. And there's a degree of it, and you may not even need to say this, but you're creating some amount of pleasure for someone who's looking at your artwork and engaging with your artwork. So now I'm forgetting the problems of the world, because now I'm so focused on what you put in front of me, that beautiful thing that I'm now looking at, and that kind of, at least for a few minutes, is taking away the worries I have of my day. It could be as simple as that. So, and again, you don't necessarily have to focus that, artistry and artwork's a little bit different. But I would definitely look at trying to engage with people who are, bought your artwork, your past clients, and ask them those questions. Get them on a video chat and go, hey, when you look at my artwork, what happens? Like, how does this make you feel? Why do you like my artwork so much? And start to, get those words that they're sharing, because then those are words that you can start to use to communicate more about your artwork there.
Great. Thanks, Peter, for that.
Okay.
The next question is kind of twofold. There were two questions that were very similar. Joseph asks, how do I get my content and videos in front of the right people? And then the other question that was really similar is, what's the best way to get more target market followers on your social platforms?
Yeah, so a couple of things that I can think of there. You have to start with the audience that you have. And, part of being social and using the social platforms is teaching your existing audience how to like, comment, and share. So the biggest way to expand your audience is teach your audience how to share your content to their social network. That's your quickest way to get your content in front of similar-minded people, right? So people tend to run in very similar circles, and so having them become your kind of brand ambassadors, if you will, of sharing your information out with other people is a piece of what you have to think about. So, are there contests that you can come up with to encourage people to share your content more and to get that content out more often, more frequently for you? Can you give away a free session if, to somebody who shares the content enough? Or if we get 100 comments on this post, then we'll do a drawing and give away a free session. Like, create that engagement where people want to share your content out and get it in front of more people. I talk a little bit about what you own versus what you rent. When you're on social media, that's rented space. So we want to move people to the things that we own. So you own your branding, your messaging, you own your website, and you own that list. So that contact database of actual names and phone numbers. So when I'm doing something on socials, then, how do I take and move them from my rented space on Facebook over to my email list that I own? And so that has to play into that as well, because now it's much easier for me to send an email and say, here's my latest video. And that they're going to, at least get it in their email to do that, or text messaging, which is a great way to do it as well. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And then another question about frequency. What do you recommend for posts, like 3 times a week or every day? What's your take?
Yeah, some of this is related to how much time do I have and how often can I do it? There really is, if you're talking about your Facebook page and you have a Facebook business page, just because you post there doesn't mean everybody on the page is going to see. So you could easily post something there every single day, and some content's going to do better than others. And then, really you're going to have to pay a little bit to, occasionally a more valuable post that you want to boost it, or, run an ad campaign to drive more traffic to a particular post, and share that one out. So you can kind of decide between those two ways to do that. And again, you could do it every day. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sharing content every day if you have it and you can do it. And you know what? You can share content again. So if 6 months ago you posted a piece of content, it's it's gone, like it's way back there. Hold that. If you think the content's good content, bring it back, post it again. Nothing wrong with doing that at all. So you want to look at, what's the engagement on the content, and can I come up with enough, good content that I can share on a daily basis? And if you can do it, do it. If you can only do a couple times a week because of your time constraints, then fine. Just pick a schedule and stick to it, and try to be consistent with it. But there's certainly nothing wrong with posting a daily at all.
Great. And what are your recommendations on business to business marketing? Anything specific for B2B?
Yeah, again, what you have to remember with B2B is that people still buy from people. So there's still the human element to that. A business doesn't really buy from a business. There's people in those businesses. So, but again, that's more probably of a LinkedIn type of place that you're gonna be focused on. And so, who's my target market? Who is my actual buyer at that business? Is it an engineer at that company? Is it a purchasing agent? Who is the actual buyer at that company? Is it the CEO I'm selling to? And so where are those people and what platform are they on? And again, it's about creating content that's going to be valuable to them. At B2B, is going to have much more defined, here's the problem that your business has, and here's the solution we have for that, and who we do that for. So same from a strategy level, your tactics are going to be a little bit different in terms of platform and the content you create. You might need to create longer form content. You might need to have a white paper written that's much more detailed about how you solve a problem. Case studies become really important in that. Here's another company that we worked with. Here was their problem, and here's what we did to solve the problem. And here was the return on investment. Here's how much money we saved them. Here's how much time they saved, things like that. And so those case studies for B2B are pretty important piece too.
Great. And then switching over to print media, what's your advice on business cards and flyers as far as what info is most important to have on them and how you really get them out there and distribute them?
Yeah, so again, you want to get the right messaging. So as you developed your messaging and communicating clearly, that applies to your website, that applies to social media, that applies to any kind of print that you're doing. So it really depends. And maybe we schedule something to really talk about this on who you're trying to reach. Again, just because you have a business card doesn't mean everybody you see you stab with your business card and that's the right person, right? So how can I narrow down who it is that's actually my target market that should have my business card, and focusing on that, but use those things to again move people to the next step. So can you put something in there that says get this free checklist, or download this thing, or visit our website to get this thing, or call to schedule a meeting, whatever it is, like do the same kinds of things in that print media that you would do for your website, and really gets treated in the same way with that.
Great, good advice. And then last question for you, Peter, what CRM do you use?
So in terms of CRM, what I call really marketing automation, so contact management, email marketing, text messaging marketing. My preferred platform is called ActiveCampaign. That's the one I like the most. A lot of people start out with MailChimp, and that's totally fine. MailChimp can do quite a lot. And some people use Constant Contact. Again, both can do quite a bit. But for me, in just terms of what I can do, what I can track, the kinds of campaigns I can create, the type of integrations with other platforms and tools, ActiveCampaign is really my go-to platform.
Great, thank you. Those were great questions and great answers. You were on rapid fire there, but glad we got through those. And for everyone, if you have more questions you think of after the session ends, you are definitely welcome to schedule an appointment with Peter. Like I said, he's one of our SBDC consultants, so he does free one-on-one sessions with businesses. We also have other consultants if you have questions, outside of the realm of marketing, who can help you. And we have SBDC offices all over the state. So even if you are outside of the North Metro Denver region, you can definitely connect with your local SBDC and we can help you make that connection if need be. And I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but for those of you who aren't familiar with the SBDC, we offer this one-on-one free consulting to address your business questions and just get some advice and guidance. And we do these educational programming sessions. So we hope you will join us for future webinars. And again, a big thank you to North Bend Economic Development. I would recommend you check out the link in the chat there because they have a ton of great resources and they're fantastic. So thank you all so much for joining. And Peter, thank you so much for your insights today. And all of this will be coming to you here in a couple hours once the video is processed. So I think that was it. Peter, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, thank you guys. Glad you were here. Yeah, and if you need some more help, let's talk.
Awesome. Thank you all. We hope you have a great afternoon.